Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
But yeah, man, we could get straight into it, bro. We can get straight
Let's get
into it.
into it. Yeah.
I appreciate everyone for tuning in. It's another episode of
Is this
Sound
live
On.
or
Yeah,
is
this is
this
live, baby.
is live
This
streaming?
is live right
No, get out.
right now.
Tight.
Don't act
Okay.
like you're not used to it, bro.
I thought, okay, let's do it. I'm chilling. All right. That's
Let-
great.
Let's get it. Are you good with it?
I'm good with it, man.
All right, man. It's another episode, Sound On Hollywood Hagan. Where I get the opportunity to tap in, with real people doing real things. It's a pleasure to welcome my guest today, the singer, the actor, the musician, the
What's up?
innovator, the creator, Morgan J, baby. The
How we
hilarious
doing?
Morgan J,
How we
bro.
doing? Good to see
Hey,
everybody. How we doing, everybody?
Oh man, I hope everyone's doing good during these times, quarantining and chilling, quarantining and
100%.
podcasting, right?
Yes. I
That's
wonder now, though, if people are listening less or more to content because every comedian I know has legit, it's like oversaturated now. So I wonder if it's a good time or a bad time to put stuff out.
I think it's a good time, and the reason why it's a good time is because everyone's staying put.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? So like, and it's like there's only so much you can do when you're sitting in one place for so long. You know what I mean? You run out of Netflix
Mhm.
shows, you run out of movies, you run out of
But the
Instagram
thing
feed.
is, the thing I think about is people will listen to podcasts on a morning commute or a commute home from work or when they're doing laundry or when they're working out. So like they can't go to the gym, they can't go to work. So I'm wondering, you take that context away, will
Mm,
they go out of their way to turn a podcast on and just like listen to it? That's what I wonder. I'm not saying they
you know,
won't. I wonder if they will.
that's a great point, and I,
I
I
hope they
guess
will.
that I guess the counter that point, not in a bad way, but I
No,
think
not at all.
I think the visual part of it, the interacting
Yeah.
part of it, is what will attract. You know,
Yeah.
because when you're in the car, obviously, you're running like audio, right? So it's like it's almost like listening to
Right.
the radio. But if you have that same content on a platform with maybe two, three, four, five individuals collaborating and interacting, I think you grab the listeners and the consumers' attention more
Right, right.
with that
Yeah, and
concept.
I'm actually one of the we were joking about how I'm like ready to go with lights and I got the microphone. So
Yeah.
as soon as this happened, I ordered a camera and I upgraded my internet and
Hey,
I put all these steps in place because
mhm,
I'm gonna live stream.
there
So
you go.
a lot of people, yeah, a lot of people are live streaming, but I don't feel like they're taking the time to do the research to like get all the steps in place. Like you want to make sure it
Yes.
sounds good, you want to make sure it looks as good
Mhm.
as it can,
Yes.
and and then
Absolutely.
also it's a different medium altogether. So I'm like, how do we tackle it? How do we change it up? Like, I don't perform
Mhm.
in front of a room of 1,000 people the same way I perform in front of a room of 100 people.
Mhm.
And it's the same concept. I'm not going to perform like I would on stage on a camera, like that. You know what I
Yes. So with that point, I think it's key to maybe attack it or get involved with it as if you were in a room with a thousand people.
mean?
Only being because you really don't know how many people initially are going to be a part of that process. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think it's also key too, man. It's like separating yourself too, because a lot of I mean, you see some of these Skype interviews, and it's just like, bro, the Skype camera for one is horrible. It's
Yeah.
complete trash. So like,
Yeah.
you definitely have, you got the mic set up, you got to get the lighting, you got to get solid equipment. That's key, right? Because it's all about
Normally
the
I wouldn't even.
perception. The
Yeah.
perception.
Normally, exactly. Like the camera,
Yeah.
I'm using a computer camera right now just because I'm
Yeah.
still waiting for the right connection for my camera.
It's clean
God,
though.
it's clean. Yeah, it was a whole
Yeah,
process
yeah.
to get
Yeah.
all this stuff. Yeah.
Is this a webcam, or is this like a MacBook type
This is the
camera?
MacBook cam. This is a MacBook cam.
Whoa.
Is
This
it
is the
clear?
best one. This is the best one yet, bro. I thought
I
you
get,
had a professional.
no, it's probably because of the lighting. The lighting changes a lot. Good
Yeah,
when
man.
right, it picks it up. So
It's crazy how people don't get that. But man, hey, let's get into it, man. We
let's get
we
into
we're
it.
all set up. We're all set up. we understand this process that we're in right now, and we got to keep working, right? So,
Right, right.
obviously, just reading up on you, you seem like a hard worker. You come from seems like a great background. So
Yeah.
let's jump into that real quick. I mean, you're originally from New Jersey, right?
New Jersey, 100%. And I
Okay,
grew up in Jersey, and then
nice.
went to school in New York City.
Nice. Okay, and
Yeah.
you went. So talk about is I'm probably gonna pronounce this wrong, but Tissick School of Arts.
Tisch School of
Tish, Tish,
Arts.
Tish.
Tisch, yeah. So
So
Tisch School
so
of Arts.
man, talk
Yeah, so I
about
went to
that.
NYU Tisch, one of the best art
Dope,
schools
dope,
in the country.
dope.
And I was in the theater program there. And it was
Okay,
about halfway through college I started doing stand up. Um,
okay,
so I was in New York. I started when I was about 20.
okay.
Um, and that was, I'm 33 now, so I've been
Hmm.
doing it for a while. I've been grinding a lot. I think,
Man,
you know,
putting
I,
in the
I
time.
yeah, I wish I was further along, but I think, you know, it would, a friend put it this way. He's like, the longer it takes for you to pop, when you
Hmm.
do pop, you're more ready, because
Absolutely.
sometimes people pop too early. They don't have the work ethic, the discipline,
Hmm.
the material to back up what they're doing, you
Bro.
know?
And that's the thing too. I feel like in an industry like that you're in, the best performances and the best shows come from life experiences. So, you know what I mean?
100%.
Like, and,
Yeah.
and, and it's all about relation too. You want to be able to touch, different demographics, different age groups and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, me being a consumer for so long, especially on a comedic level, I'm just like, some stuff doesn't resonate like, others do. But,
Right.
I noticed like, the guys who've been in the game for a longer period of time, they're able to, you know, make that happen. So real quick, so in the art school, let's go back. So were you obviously you're a guitarist? For the people
Well,
who don't
yeah.
know, this
I
man
played a
is
little bit. I started
little chords here
when
and
I was
there.
16. Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Yeah. I
how'd
would
you get inspired to that? How'd you get inspired to do that? To get into
I
to that
played I played piano for 10 years growing up,
Wow.
and then I
Mhm.
stopped playing that, and then I picked up a guitar about a year or two later when I was around 16,
Nice.
17. And I took a couple months of lessons. I played for myself,
Okay.
and I never looked at myself, and I sang too, but I never considered
Yeah.
myself like an amazing singer, an amazing guitar player. Um, and I still don't consider myself either of those things, but I think I learned that I have a special, my voice is special,
Mm-hmm.
and my performances are special. So they're different from a normal R&B performance or whatever musical performance you might be used to seeing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and bro, let's talk about that a little bit, bro. Because when
Right.
I first saw that, I was like, what is? So I was like, is this dude? Is he a stand up comedian, or like is he like a performer? Is he
Right.
like what's And then
And I,
like the more I kept
yeah,
watching your content, the more I was like, yo, this dude he's both.
yeah, he's
So
an
so when
entertainer.
somebody so when someone asks you what do you do, how do you classify yourself, or what description do you come up with as far as what you do on stage?
They'll say, "How do you best describe yourself?" And I'll say, "I'm like the R&B version of Little Dicky." You know, which I think is a good way to put it. You
Yo,
know, you know
that
what I
is
mean?
exactly what it is. But
Yeah.
with like a little bit of Craig David.
Right. On a Monday, took a
Bro, when
party on
right on
Tuesday.
Tuesday, and we
We
can
been
make
making
love.
love on
And
Wednesday,
he said,
and on
and on
Thursday and Friday and
Friday
Saturday
and
we chill
Saturday,
on.
we on
Yeah,
Sunday.
man.
Bro, come on, bro. Like, so
Yeah.
I'm an R&B guy, bro, to the heart, bro. I mean, I consume and listen to a lot of music, bro. Like, that's one of the things, that I do. It's one of my hobbies.
Yeah.
Um, and bro, like that was the first thing that popped up in my head. And I was like, this dude has to get this all the time.
Right. It's funny you say that. Well, it's just funny people's reactions in general. I remember you know who
Man.
D-Ray, D-Ray Davis?
Yes, I know who he is.
So D-Ray, I did it. I was at the
Yep.
I was at the Improv for Monday
Mhm.
Rays, right? And I ended up talking to this girl at the bar. I wasn't doing the show. This is before I did the show, and I'm talking to
Yeah.
this girl at the bar. I'm like, man, I would love to do a D-Ray show.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty positive the black community would fuck with the R&B music, you
Oh,
know.
absolutely. I
So
can see.
so I'm talking to this girl, man. I would love to do D-Ray show, and she's like, well, I'm D-Ray's assistant. I could probably talk to him.
Oh,
And I told her, I said, well, look, I'm gonna be closing out the small room. There's like a smaller room at the Improv, and
yeah.
I'm closing the show. So if you want to come check me out, there's no pressure. You come check
Hmm.
it out, and then if you like it, then you could put in a word for D-Ray. I don't want to
Yeah,
just send
yeah.
you my stuff.
Hmm.
So, long story short, she saw it, she loved it, we connected. She put me on the show, and the
Yeah.
first time I did it, D-Ray was hosted. He didn't know who I was, and I
Yeah.
went up there and like brought the house down.
Oh,
Brought the
bro,
house down.
bro, that crowd of people, like they
Yeah,
probably were all over. They were like, "Who is this guy? What is he doing? What is he singing?" Like the vibe is crazy. So, bro, like that's an amazing story in itself. I mean, it's a
we're
small
not
world,
even done
right?
yet. So from
Oh, keep
there,
going, keep going, keep
so
going,
from
keep going.
there, he goes, he sees me in the bathroom, and he was like, after my set, he's like, "Yo, bro, if I knew you were gonna kill that hard, I would have had you close the show." So then he had me on again, and I closed the
Yeah.
show the second time. And then after that time, he was like, I got off stage and was like, "All right, now you got to open for me." And I was like, "Okay, cool, cool." Because people say that sort of shit in LA. They're like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
"Whatever."
All the time.
And he was like, "No, no, no, I'm not fucking with you. My assistant's right there. Just talk to her, and we'll figure something out." So I opened for him for a couple dates, and then
Hmm.
over the holidays, he hit me up to host his show for him while he was out of town.
Dope, dope,
And
dope, dope.
the last time I did the show was a couple weeks ago. He was on this
Mhm.
arena tour with Martin Lawrence, and
Oh,
at the end of
what?
yeah, and he was like, he came up to me, he's
Oh.
like, we got to get you in front of Martin. What? How do you do in front of an arena? How do you sound? I'm like, I think it would sound great. It'd probably
Mm.
sound even better, to be honest with you.
Yeah, with the equipment and the production and everything.
Yeah, but the whole coronavirus came through, so they had to put those
Shut it down.
events on
So so
lockdown.
so
So
this is in the works. It's still in the
I mean, it
works.
might be, but it's one of those things where he
Postponed.
said it. He said it. I mean, you know how it is. Like people say
Hmm.
things, so you just
Hmm.
have to be like, all right, cool,
Yeah.
and you can't be
Until it
like,
happens, it happens.
right, and you can't be like, hey, what's up? You just gotta like wait and then
Hmm.
get that gander,
But
as they say.
bro, yeah, but bro, you're connect at this point. You're connected with D-Ray, so
Yeah, so I could hit
if
him
it's
up and be like, yo,
yeah, if it's not this opportunity, that there's more in the works. I'm sure, bro. That's
yeah, and
dope,
he's
man. D-Ray's one of my favorite, bro.
and
He's
he
solid,
was
bro.
and he's really nice, dude. He was really
Yeah.
nice. He was I've been doing this 12. I'd been doing it 12 years, and he was the first person to ask me to open for him in 12 years.
Wow. So that was
And
that was the first open that you've done for anybody, obviously at that caliber, but anybody in general.
in general, yeah, first person
So
on, yeah,
everything's been like completely independent, solo, dolo.
yeah, for the most part. I mean, I had a manager. I mean, I have a manager now, but I had a manager for about a year and a half or so who he got me a couple gigs here and there, but at the end of the day, I'm getting most of the gigs myself.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's dope, man. That's dope. Super. That sounds like you're out there working, man. But it's always cool too, man. Like it seems like it's been like an organic process for you. You know what I mean? Not really
right.
trying to seek out and pull in, all these crazy opportunities. I mean, for example, the bar thing with D-Ray's manager. I mean, that's like an organic process. Like, yo, like you just probably randomly just
Yeah.
came up with that thought, and she just so happened to be the manager.
That's part of it. I think people don't understand. Like, you could be a really good performer,
Yeah.
and then people just like hook you up with opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
or you could be a really good performer and that doesn't happen. So then you just have to have this skill where you have to talk to people after shows, make connections.
Yeah.
That's like a bigger part of the process than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Is that hang after shows.
That's yep, and that's funny that you say that. That's like one of the biggest things that people, like comedics, entertainers, performers. That's one of the things that they talk about the most is the after piece with the interaction with the people that are there supporting, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that a little bit, bro, because obviously the way you go about things is it's a lot of crowd interaction, right?
Right.
Which is super creative. It's super. It speaks improv in the sense of like it's almost like it's off the top of your head. right?
A little
So
bit,
I'm
a little
curious.
bit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's almost a freestyle because you don't really know what the next answer is going to be or the next comment or whatever. And what I appreciate about what you do is how like consistent you are after the fact. So talk to me about your process of like setting up for the show, right? It's not
Right.
like like a whole skit where you got 4 or 5 topics and you're going to touch on those 4 or 5 topics and kind of come up with like maybe a life experience story or whatever.
I
Tell me
think,
about how you do what you do.
yeah. So just to, we'll take it back a little bit because the
Yeah.
when I did stand up for 6 years, so
Mm-hmm.
and I still do stand up. Well, at
Yeah.
least none of us do stand up right now, but I did stand up
Mm-hmm.
for about 6 years, and then I switched to the guitar for which I've had in my act now for over 6 years, also.
Okay.
Um, but 3 years into using the guitar, I was doing these events where they were music shows
Mm-hmm.
and they weren't comedy shows. And so
Okay.
that gave me the opportunity to kind of stretch my muscle with the guitar. Because,
Okay.
and by that I mean, I had opportunity to mess with the crowd a little bit, you know?
Okay.
So little by little, because sometimes I would host these shows. So before I'd play a song, I'd mess around with the crowd just a little bit. And
Okay.
then a little bit turned into a little bit more. And then before I knew it, people would book me on shows and they'd be like, "Hey, are you going to do that musical crowd work stuff? That stuff is
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
cool."
Yeah.
So then about 3 years into doing, so then I realized, oh shit, people really love this. So now
Uh,
when I write songs, I try to write some sort of musical crowd work into the song. So like, I don't know if you
okay.
saw, right? So let's say I'm writing, I don't know if you know the song I do, Split the Check, where I sing to Chrissy Teigen.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that. I
So
saw that. I
that's on
saw
my
that.
website. People can see that on my website. But
Yeah.
so the questions I ask her are the same questions I ask every girl that I pick out in the crowd at this point.
Mm,
But that
okay.
only happened after I wrote the song. So I write the song, and then
Mm,
the second part is, okay, what kind of questions do I want to incorporate into the song?
mm-hmm.
Let's mess around with it, see what gets the most laughs, and then we polish it down to like 3 or 4 bits. You know what I'm saying?
Dope.
And,
Dope.
and then from there, every audience member, they more or less say the same responses.
Yep.
So like it is musical improv, but at that level, it's not anymore because I kind of I've performed the song hundreds of times at this point,
Mm-hmm.
so I know what a person is going to say, or if I don't, I know how to respond. You know,
So you're a mind reader.
I'm a mind reader a little bit. Well, it's like anything. You could talk
Joking.
a lot of
Essentially,
these a little bit, right? A lot of these. Well, I'll look at a girl and I'll be like, I'm gonna pick this girl out because the way she looks makes me feel like she's gonna say this bullshit. You know.
so you do a whole lot of crowd surfing, like or
Well, I'll tell you what.
kind of.
Before a
You
show,
be doing this little joint right here. Are you really blocking like the light to see,
mm-hmm,
or is that
mm-hmm.
just part of? Okay, I was
No,
like, yo, is that like just part of
I,
the act? You really be
no,
searching like
I'm
that's
searching.
fire.
Not only am I
That's
searching, I'll
hilarious.
stand to the side. So I'll do chocolate Sundays sometimes, and I'll
Chocolate
stand.
Sundays.
Have you been to chocolate Sundays?
No, where's that in LA?
That's at the Hollywood Improv on Sundays.
Yeah, I heard about. Yeah, 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 yeah. I heard
So
about
that
that.
show goes
That's
off even more than the Monday Ray show. That show is like because it's so tight and it's just out of control. So um,
There's probably a lot of people you could pick on,
oh
and
yeah.
it's
So at
easy
that
money.
show, I'll stand up at the balcony and I'll look down at the crowd and I'll think I'm already scouting people who I think would
Mhm.
be a good,
This is
because I think that
pre-show. This is
pre-show
like
or preset. Let's say there's a
preset,
comic
preset.
ahead of, yeah, preset. So
Yeah,
I'll be scoping it out. So
it's
so there is
hilarious.
a sense of musical improv.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of preparation.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I mean, I believe that I'm a talented person, but I do get
Absolutely.
nervous about like full improv. If it's like a little bit of half and half. Kind of like the
Mm-hmm.
way I feel like freestyle rappers are kind of studying. They must be like studying raps a little bit. They have their rhyme
Yeah,
book.
yeah.
They're at home,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thinking about flows a little bit.
Absolutely,
Right? Am I wrong?
absolutely.
Right?
No,
They're
you're
studying.
absolutely right. It's all
So
about cadence. When it comes to rappers, it's cadence,
right.
like finding your cadence and the right melody. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
studied
So
100%.
I don't, yeah, exactly. I don't think a rapper shows up to a cipher and just straight up
No, no, it's
you know what
thought
I'm
out.
saying? It's
So
thought out a
like
little bit.
if you've seen like the Funk Flex freestyles and like the Sway in the Morning freestyles, there's people who go on there that have that can. I mean, there's
Right.
rappers out there like King Los that can go in there and spit the alphabet and have a word for each letter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
and
then
he
there's
has to.
some people that got some stuff that's pre-written. I mean, yeah, it's definitely an art at the end of the day, though.
Yeah, and then and I think also one of the main things of the art is making it feel like it is new every time. And I think one of the things why the crowd work stuff I do is so effective is that I learned early on that every show people want to feel like they're a part of something special.
Mm-hmm.
So if you pick somebody out in the crowd and you do this thing, then it creates like a special moment for that night. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
felt like they were part of something special,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
I
So,
actually caught that on one of your skits where you do a lot with like couples, and you did one
right,
with like how long you been together? Oh, 8 years.
right.
And then you get on that a little bit, and you talk about that a little bit, and
Mhm.
you kind of get them going, and then you talk about a whole nother couple, and they've been together 16 years, and you're like, oh, okay, so
Yeah,
they're
they
twice as
love
in
it.
love. They're twice as in
Yeah,
love. I was weak. I was like, yo, how did that like? You can't really prepare for that.
right. And well, so I also have a list
It's
in my
spot on.
notebook of yeah, I have a list in my notebook of the crowd work bits that work. So like that one is their love is better than your love.
Yes.
So even though I'll do it every show if it comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know it will work.
That's
Their
cr-
love is better than your love. I have this one about sit over there. Like I have all these little tiny, and I'm gonna keep building that repertoire
yeah, yeah.
of things, delving deeper.
How do you go about that? Obviously, just being a stand up, you can dive into like, the social topics or the trending topics and what's going on in the world today. Like that's kind of easier to do, but it's oversaturated, right? Like you
Right.
mentioned before. And it makes it more competitive and probably,
Yeah.
a little more harder to deliver on the creative side, right? How do you go about picking your topics and keeping everything relevant, with
Well,
the kind of bit piece that you do?
if you want, there's a term called evergreen jokes,
Mm. Okay.
or evergreen bits. So an evergreen joke is something that's funny no matter what decade or time period it is.
Mm.
So
Okay.
I I kind of work as hard as I can to stay away from topical stuff because I
Mhm.
want to write bits that I could still perform 5 years from now. And I think
Dope.
um, dealing with relationships, love, and dating, I think that's one of the few things that it's not about religion, it's not about race, um,
Hmm.
it's not about politics.
Sex,
Or,
origin.
yeah, it's just about something on a human level that we all deal with, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, a love, essentially love, right?
Hmm.
I don't want to be cheesy about
Yeah.
it, but it's love,
No, that's, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is.
and we all
And
deal with that.
absolutely. So that's dope that you're able to be able to work that way because it's like you could touch, you know,
More people
like
that way.
more people, and you're not capping yourself off or boxing yourself in. I think that's where
Right,
a lot of people struggle, is being afraid to kind of switch it up.
right.
And what's dope is what you do, man. I don't see it a lot. Like, I mean, is there a whole lot of people doing what you're doing? Is there like, do you have anybody that from like an inspiration level that kind of does this sort of thing that you're like, anything like that, or is this just all self motivation, self
Well,
creativity?
I definitely look to other musical comedians
Mm-hmm.
to see what they do and how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started writing songs, I was like, well, I just want to I like to sing, right? So I want to write a song
Yeah.
that I'm gonna like to sing. So on that
Mm-hmm.
level, that's where it was at. But comedians that I look up to is a comedian named Reggie Watts, who
Oh, yeah.
he does like beatboxing, very stream of
Mm.
consciousness, making stuff up on the spot. Then there's Rory Scovel, who's the same way too, just kind of going off the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that I watch his clips over regularly on YouTube is Jamie Foxx,
Oh, so thank
because
you for bringing that up, bro. Because I was
because
gonna, this was gonna come up. The dude
because
is amazing, and I see
I
where
mean,
you're.
look, I watched
The
the
Brady
the
Bunch 7,000 times.
I've seen it so many times, bro. I've seen it so many times, dude.
So I
Brady,
watched
Miss Brady.
Brady Bunch. That is fire, bro. When he jumps on the grand, what is that, a grand piano or whatever it is.
Hmm.
Man, I remember watching that, bro, and I was like inspired, bro. I wasn't like, when I first saw that video, I wasn't a comedian by any means. I wasn't a pianist. I mean, I played the piano growing up and everything like that, but I was like, bro, he literally like took over the entire show
Hmm.
with that, and people wanted more and wanted more, and like, and he just kept doing
They
it. He
lose
did
their
like
shit.
when he did like with like the Joel Levert, the Prince, and- I died, bro. I can't tell you how many times I saw that,
Bro,
bro. So
I
like when I
watched.
see you work, I see that. It's crazy,
I know, and I watch it, and I'm like, I want to be like that, but
bro.
you don't want to be just like it. But also, he's so talented, I can never be like him. He's on another level. I think he's one of
Yeah.
the most talented people
Oh
in
man,
the
shout out
universe.
to Jamie, man. Shout out to Jamie. I need to get Jamie on the show.
Yeah,
That's what I get
I need to
Jamie on
get
the show,
I need to get Jamie just to at my show to watch me and hopefully help me
bro.
out.
He would appreciate you.
Well,
I
it's
guarantee
funny.
you. I
I
guarantee
hope.
you. If your content like ran by him, he would definitely appreciate it. I tell you that.
Yeah, I did it when I was hosting D-Ray's show at the end of the year last year. Craig
Hmm.
Robinson was there. He dropped in. So he
Okay.
was in the crowd and he saw me do my Split the Check song and he was dying. So I
Oh,
spoke to him outside and he was just like, "Look, man, when you bring me up tonight, just stay on stage with me for a little bit." So then I was up on stage with Craig Robinson just freestyling and making some stuff up.
that's dope.
And
When was this?
this was December 20, the last show of the last Monday Rays of the year. That was like December 26th.
2019.
Yeah, it was like December 26th, yeah.
Oh man, you were moving. You were really getting to it, bro. Before all this popped off,
Yeah.
man. Hey,
That's
bro,
all
but
right. We're pivoting,
it's
bro.
bro,
We pivot up.
it's gonna pivot out of there quick.
I'm gonna be making. I'm relaunching the YouTube channel. Um,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna be putting content out, putting music out, doing live streams. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm a hard worker, like you said. I'm gonna figure it
Yeah,
out.
man. Gout, you have to. Hey, let's talk about this. I think the Jamie thing might happen. You know how I think it might happen?
How do you think it might happen?
Because you work with Chrissy. You worked with Chrissy Teigen, right? This is
Yeah.
John Legend, the wife of
Oh,
John Legend.
right, right.
John Legend and
Interesting.
Jamie Foxx are like
They're pals.
boys. I think
Right.
that and I think something might fall into place right there where he'll see like you and Chrissy and he's like, who's this
Mm,
guy? And you never know. That's just a thought,
right.
bro.
Well,
All ambition, all ambition.
I'm not gonna force it, but
You don't
hopefully
have
something
to. You
happens,
don't have to.
right?
You don't have
The
to.
universe will provide.
Hey, bro, let's talk real quick about being a semifinalist on
Bring the funny.
Bring the Funny.
Yeah.
Would you say that's the biggest thing that you've done so far? Or
That was the biggest thing up to this point that I've done. Yeah,
what,
that
what-
show averaged about 3 million viewers an episode.
okay.
Um,
How
and
many episodes did it run?
it was 10 or 11 episodes. I was on three because I made it 3 rounds, so I was on 3 episodes.
Okay.
Um, and it was an interesting experience. I I felt confident that I could go all the way, and I
Hmm.
felt like I was close. But
As you
the last
should.
ep- the last episode or two, they and the producers on the show, they really loved me. They thought I was always on time, I was always professional, and my
Hmm.
bits were good. And they essentially, I think, for the last episode or two, they needed big numbers, like
Hmm.
big performances.
Okay.
And me, I'm like, my vibe is very chill. It's
Yeah.
not like season finale of a TV show. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And so, um,
So I can already see where you're going at with this.
they went with other people. Like obviously, there's you
Based
understand what I'm
on
saying?
what, yeah, based on what the so with something like that, it's like everybody on that show probably could have been potential winners, right?
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, they're looking for a certain thing, a certain somebody, you
Hmm.
know, it's almost like when you it's all because I got friends and stuff that are actors and stuff like that, and he tells me all the time. He's like, he goes to these auditions and everything like that, and everybody seems super qualified, but at the end of the day, they depict for a certain piece or a certain
Hmm.
type of thing, right? And I feel like it's the
Yeah.
same way when it comes to something like that.
Yeah, because the musical comedians that they chose for the final episode did like this big rock star number with like pyrotechnics and costume changes and shit, you know?
Oh, wow.
And so there was no way I was going to do something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's out of your element.
Yeah.
But
Um,
but getting how has it been like kind of getting the notoriety and like getting kind of you know pushed on like a national platform? How has that been? Have you seen any
I
effect on that or
well,
any change?
I was able to get verified, so that was good.
Dope.
I got an extra maybe 6,000, 5 or 6,000 followers.
Okay.
You think that on a TV show like that you would get many
Man.
more followers with 3
Yeah.
million, but the people watching it aren't the kind of people using,
Social
social
media.
media. And one of the
Okay.
other things, the voting process for the show was all done online and not over
Mm-hmm.
the phone like they've done in the past, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you got to understand, like a 60-year-old woman watching this, she's not going to make an account to log into NBC to vote. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm. Nope.
So the people who ended up winning was this sketch group who had like 100,000 or 250,000 followers across all the platforms.
Already.
So they were
Okay.
able to get like an army of people to vote for them. And
Mm. Okay.
I and I'm not even bitter about it. This is the way that the things shook
No,
out.
that's just what it is.
But I
Numbers
for
don't
sure
lie.
Right, but I for sure had some fans. I've had
Mm.
people buy tickets and come to shows specifically because they saw me on that TV show,
So,
which is very cool. It's nothing
mm-hmm.
crazy, but I think it taught me a valuable lesson that the world is changing drastically. The
Mm-hmm.
generate I'm 33, the generation that's at this point 18 to 26, they don't watch television.
No.
So a social media following, and I'm gonna be real with you, I'm late to the game. Having a YouTube,
Damn.
having a thriving YouTube channel, having a thriving Instagram or Twitter, whatever account you want to use, is almost
Mm-hmm.
more important because now in Hollywood, it's like they don't even want to work with you unless you're already somebody online.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
that's I mean the online content and the online creators and influencers, bro, like those it's because it's so quick. We live in a generation now where it's just
Yeah,
it's like the consumption process is just like at a drop of a nail, a drop of a dime, and
yeah.
another thing too, this generation, their attention span, bro, is
And I know
short.
firsthand, bro, I'm at colleges performing, and they can't sit through a 3 minute song. They can barely sit through a 3 minute song. I don't even know if you know this on Spotify, for example. The songs are getting shorter because in order to get paid for a song, people listening have to listen to 60% at minimum 60% of the song. Do you know
Oh
that?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like that with everything. It's almost like that too with YouTube.
Right.
There's only a certain amount of time that has to be calculated for a view to even get credited.
Yeah.
You
So
know what I
like
mean? Mhm.
on Facebook, I think my roommate told me it was like 3 seconds or something. And
On Facebook,
on YouTube, I think it's a little bit more than that.
yeah, probably like maybe like 10 or maybe even a minute. Because some of these
Something
YouTube
like that.
videos are like
Yeah.
15 to 20 minutes. That's crazy, man. So you gotta,
So that's why
yeah.
like I told you at the beginning, I invested in a camera. Right now, I
Mm,
got nothing but time, and I'm gonna make
that's
videos
good.
and um, just figure it out because I already have the live performance. I think it's easier for live
Hmm.
performers, to transition from performing live to transitioning to the internet than it is
Have
for
you
vice versa.
have you are you getting kind of acquainted with like the what is it, the Instagram Live? Are you on that? I mean, I know that's booming right now. Everyone's doing like live
Yeah,
concerts and live interviews and stuff, and everything is running through there, and you already have the fan base that's already following you right now. So like I feel like that would be kind of a good start to just jump into that. Have you thought about that at all? Or
Well, I have thought about that a lot. I've done a couple of live stream comedy shows,
mm-hmm.
and I think the problem with that was the quality, the
Mm-hmm.
sound quality and video quality that comes through on Instagram is not as
Mm-hmm.
good as say like what we're doing right now because we're
Yeah,
using
yeah.
microphones
Mm-hmm.
and it's just going to record better. So I'm going to be live streaming to YouTube and Facebook. That's the plan.
Dope. Dope, dope.
And
Yep.
maybe Twitch. I don't know, but that's the plan. And then I'll have a live stream going on my phone, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that the audio, because I'm going to be singing, right? So I want the audio to
Yep.
sound as good as possible. I'm going to have some reverb. I'm going to have vibes.
Nice. A little auto tune.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know how
Hey,
to do because I got to figure out
software.
little by
Software.
little. Yeah, little by little. I don't have. I got to be careful with my money because if
Hey,
I blow
reach
a
out,
bunch of money
re-
on.
reach out to me. I know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy. So
Okay, I'll talk to you about that because
yeah, we could
there's an
get you set
artist,
up.
and it's also like I got to learning how to use it, and then figuring out like an actual set list for a show like that. You know,
Yeah.
like if I go
I mean,
live every week, am I going to have a new song every week that we try together? Because coming up with quality songs is difficult,
mm-hmm.
and
But
having it prepared.
you won't never know unless you try it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I
Really
think
what
that's
it
what I'm going to
is.
do. I'm going to treat this whole quarantine as an opportunity because, like, for example, when I switched to this,
Yeah.
I didn't say, okay, Morgan, you are now officially a musical comedian. I was like, hey, try this for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I got 2 months now, so I'm gonna try this for 2 months and see how it
Yeah.
goes. So
Bro, the way I see it is everything has already been a creative process for you.
right,
Yeah, you seem like a
right,
risk taker. I mean, what's new, really? What's
yeah,
the real difference? I mean, come up, you guys. Sounds like you got the idea. Now you just got to execute.
yeah. The difference we
No.
just have to evolve. That's it. We're always evolving.
Man, literally,
Yeah,
that's what we're doing right now. You know what I mean? And that's the great part about life, man. You just evolve and then you kind of sit back and then you kind of think about like, man, like 2020 from January to whatever, this quarantine time like changed the
right.
game. You know what I mean? Like it's always gonna be, you know what I mean? Like I changed
It's
the game during that time.
it's changing everything, dude. It's man, it's so interesting. And the process, I'm about to put out my first comedy sketch on Monday and Tuesday, and
Okay.
I shot one yesterday, and I'll be shooting
I think
another
I
one
saw that.
tomorrow.
Were you like tied up or something like that?
That was something else for my
I
buddy.
was like, I was like, what the hell is it?
That
This
was for my
man,
buddy's. That was for my
that's
buddy's YouTube
hilarious.
channel, and
Okay.
um
That's
that
funny.
so essentially like the process is so different because you don't know if it's going to be funny or not. You know,
Yeah.
you just
You got
gotta
to
you gotta shoot it and then edit it, and hopefully the final product is good.
you got to go what you get, bro.
Real
I
quick,
mean,
my roommate's about to make a smoothie in his room, so you might hear it.
in his room.
Well, because he would do it in the kitchen over there, but he brought it in his room out of respect because we're recording right now, so he didn't want
Hey,
to make too
man.
much
Hey,
noise.
shouts out to the roommate.
Shout
I
out to Brent
res
Pella.
Brent Pella. Shout out to you, bro. Hey, I'll take a shake too. You can send a
Yeah,
UPS.
yeah, you should talk to him too.
No, yeah.
He's got some stuff on the horizon. He's got his own YouTube. He's the one I ask for all my YouTube advice and shit.
Oh, okay. See, so you're surrounded by people who are in the game.
Yeah, so his account on YouTube, he's got I want to say like 60K followers,
Okay. Subscribers. They're called subscribers.
subscribers, right? And,
You gotta get with the terminology, bro. If you go be somebody say how many subscribers you got, you be like, what you mean, followers?
well,
Nah,
no,
man.
because Twitter's followers, Instagram is followers, Facebook is likers. Fuck
Oh,
it,
I didn't
people
know
who like
that.
your
I didn't
well, it's
know
not
that.
likers, but people they like your
Likers.
page. They like your page. They
He
don't
said
follow your
likers.
page.
I'm weak.
They don't subscribe to your page. They like your page, and you
That's
got people
hilarious.
on YouTube who subscribe. So you know,
Subscribers. And then subscribers, they got the likes, they got the notifications. So they're like they're not playing around on YouTube, man.
so that's the thing.
They're
So
not playing around. You gotta have somebody's phone ping off
mhm.
as a notification to put you at another tier from everybody else.
Well, yeah. Well, YouTube, as so with the research that I've done,
Hmm.
YouTube is I think the highest retention of the platforms.
Yeah.
So like if you have 50,000 subscribers on YouTube and 100,000 subscribers on Facebook, most of the ticket, let's say you do a live show, from what I understand, most of the people from, I think, maybe I'm wrong, but on YouTube
Yeah.
will be more likely to come to a live
No, they
show.
stick. No, they
They stick,
stick.
yeah. Because
So
those are the people
what
sitting around watching, you know?
But what's dope about your live shows though, coming in correct and having everything lined up, professional setting, professional light, whatever, you could take that content and you can transcend it through all of the platforms. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Like the same show that you could put on for Instagram Live, you can save that content and push it through all the platforms. So it's
Yeah.
always cool. It's always cool that you come correct on
Mhm.
the process of like the production, right?
Right,
So
right.
yeah, man, I think you got it, man. I'll be your first subscriber on YouTube.
Please, luckily
You
I
got it
had,
up yet?
I do know I had launched my YouTube about 4 years ago,
Okay.
and in the month or two that I was active on it, I got about 1,000 subscribers.
All right, I'll be
Uh,
I'll be I'll be your first notification. I'll set it up for
yes,
notice. Or they call them
yeah,
noties.
but that's the plan, man. That's the plan. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna try to be diligent about it. I'm working outside my comfort zone. My roommate sees it every day. I'm like, I don't feel comfortable with this. Is this gonna be funny? I don't know. This feels weird, but
man.
I think that's a good place to be when you're used to, killing at every live show. It's good to be put in a position where you don't know,
It puts
you
you
learn
back
from it.
into like this. I feel like this time puts you in like a
Hmm.
vulnerable and like a humble state. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's when people are their best.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? There's no lights, there's no cameras, there's not people physically
Right.
laughing at your jokes and everything like that. I
Hmm.
feel like it puts you in like a real humbled and like vulnerable like place. And I
Yeah.
think that's when you really gotta go in because people will respect the fact that like yo like this is the real this is the real him, you know what I'm saying, this
Yeah.
this is him, this is the real Morgan J.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
and on that platform, I could show more sides to my talent.
yeah,
As
and a
an
lot of
actor.
people, yes bro, because a lot of people as consumers they want to see more of just the guy on stage or just
Right.
the guy who posts a 30-second clip or the guy who snaps a quick pic with his guitar, right? So I feel like what's really popping or what's really like taking off is the day in the lives. And what's
You know
better than
what?
doing that
That's
in a,
what.
in a house and having randoms? Like, what's better than that? They know you're not doing anything else. They know you're not going to a show. They know you're not going, you know, wherever outside of the house. And but to come up with all this creative content in a secluded, squared off house,
Hmm.
apartment, condo, whatever, there's no better way to do it than right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we're doing, man. That's all we're doing.
Man, just hey, keep getting creative, bro. Bring out the piano.
Oh
I'm trying
man.
to see it. I'm trying to see a Jamie like like a piano skit.
I'll be
What's up
honest
with
with you.
that?
I'm very ashamed because I haven't practiced piano in so long, and if you put one in front of me, I'd have to start almost from scratch. It's been so long. That's why I'm like
Man.
embarrassed to say that.
See, I got the. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Let me see.
I got
Ooh.
like the M
Yeah, you got the
Audio
whole setup.
61 key joint right here.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So I be on that a little bit. Gotta
Yeah.
stay fresh. I never know what's gonna
Yeah.
happen. Somebody might call me up like, "Yo, I need a pianist.
A
Pull up."
pianist. A pianist. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
A pianist, pull up. Yeah, man. I'm a big fan of music, man, and just the art and the music side of it. And so like the way that you incorporate it into what you do, bro, it's like it really had me like, man, like I can't wait to sit down with this guy and see what his
Appreciate it.
process is like, man.
Yeah. And I mean, and when I write songs, I approach it as writing a song before I write a comedy song. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I
So
look at
what
it as music.
do you write real songs? I'm not saying that the songs that aren't,
No, no, I understand. No,
comedic ones aren't real, but
I've written a couple real ones. As a matter of fact, I had a story from a year or two ago where I was at a barbecue in Beverly Hills, and
okay.
they asked me to do two songs because the person who lived there, her father was a member of the Commodores, and so
Oh,
they had like a recording
that's
studio.
serious.
Yeah, they had, and I didn't know that. I just showed up. I didn't bring my guitar. I was like, somebody invited me here. I'm just gonna chill out. So
Yeah, yeah.
then I played two songs, and then I got off stage, and Aloe Black came up to me, and I didn't even know it was
Dope.
I didn't even know it was Aloe Black.
Oh
I,
yeah. He looked
and
like a typical
he just looked
African American,
he was just
Nigerian looking.
well, I didn't even know who he was. Yeah, I didn't even really know who he was, and that he had I didn't realize he had a couple of top charting songs.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and
So many
so
different commercials and yeah, he's got
yeah,
his own.
and
He's
so
dope.
he came up to me and was like, "Bro, that was really good. Let's connect." And we emailed back and forth, and I emailed some of my real songs to him that I had just
Okay.
recorded on my phone. He was like, "Listen, these are really good. I think with production value, you could probably get somebody to buy this." Um,
So
so
what do you do with you just left it there?
well, what happened with that
Like
was
you gotta get in the studio, bro. You
right
got too many talents, bro.
that and
I'm
that is,
envying
and I'll be
I'm
honest with
envying
you,
you right now.
that's but it is an issue because it's like
You don't know which way to go.
I'm paralyzed because it's like
Yes, I
I
know.
don't I do I pursue that? Do I give up this? I've been working hard at this for so long. Like, do it,
Mm,
So it's overwhelming.
yep.
But I don't know.
You got to
Executing is my
figure. You got
biggest
to.
obstacle.
What's crazy about what you do, man? I think you have the opportunity to kind of intertwine all your talents.
Yeah.
So maybe focusing on like, I mean, obviously you're a creative dude. Maybe focusing on a way to intertwine everything.
Right.
I mean, you
By the
kind of
way,
already do that.
I'm on 17% battery. I
Okay.
think we
Yeah.
haven't. I don't know when we're gonna wrap up. I just want that the
Yeah. No. I,
as I
you
can't
with you
move
on the
my
Mac?
system. I'm on the Mac right now. Yeah, I have bit of an
Seven,
older Mac, but
17 minutes is like 17 hours on the MacBook.
sure.
Nah, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs would probably love that comment.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think what I mean, it sounds like, man, you're getting connected with a lot of different people. People are appreciating your talents. People are appreciating your hard work, and just getting to know you in this last hour or whatever. I appreciate
Right.
it.
Yeah. Thank you,
So
man. I
I'm
appreciate you
no
even taking an interest. I was surprised. I
bro.
mean, I'm down to do any interview and like, cause I just want to get out there. I want to share my story. I think it's
Yeah,
interesting. And I mean, I really appreciate even the way you opened it up, being overlooked because sometimes I feel like
that's what
that
it
has
is.
happened, because I mean, in the industry, you see people get opportunities or success. And I'm not saying they're not talented, but
Mhm.
there's plenty of people you could throw a rock and hit a talented person in the city. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
oh, absolutely. And it's and like the term overnight success, bro,
Right.
is crazy. Like you can wake
Yeah.
up and the whole game's been changed. And it don't
I
matter
mean,
what you
Lizzo's a good example of somebody who's been doing it for 8 years, playing in a bar for
yeah.
nobody, doing this and that, and
Hmm.
then she
Boom.
popped, you know?
That's I mean, everybody's story is different, man.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I mean, just talking to you and getting some of your stories and some of your connections and and things like that, I think is just a matter of time for you. You know
Right.
what I mean? And
No.
some people call it luck, but there's nothing lucky about, what you do, right? And I feel like you have that control.
Well,
So
luck is what do they say luck? They say luck is where opportunity meets preparation.
there it is. See, that's where I was going.
Right.
That's where I was going with that, but I kind of
That's what
missed.
luck is,
So I
dude. Cause
appreciate you.
yeah, no worries. That's, because I'm always reading these inspirational books, trying to be inspired.
There you go. So those
You
are your
know,
inspirations. So you do a lot of reading. Okay.
you got to find ways to keep yourself motivated and keep going because it can be tough.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you coming by, bro. Like I said, man, I'm all about talents, bro. I don't care what it is. Because at the end of the day, there's some artistry behind it. You're different. You
Thank you.
stand out. Like, I'm on the same path. I'm on the same movement. That's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm trying to impact, bro, at the end of the day. And
Right.
bringing people like you on, man, and telling a story what helps me, motivates me.
Mhm.
So, I get a lot out of this, man, believe it or
Thank
not.
you, and I appreciate it.
So,
It's I get a lot out of it too because it's good to remind yourself of the stuff you've done and the stuff you're going to do, you know?
Absolutely, man. And that's the growth process, bro. And I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how many years it takes. Can't beat yourself up about it, you know? You're doing
Right.
a lot of great things, man. So I mean, speaking of great things, what's next, you know, for the listeners out there? I mean, obviously you got the YouTube and everything like
Yeah.
that going on. So where can they find you?
So Instagram, I do post the clips I try to post it every Tuesday, a new clip on Instagram, which is Morgan J.
Okay.
And then YouTube is, you can just go to YouTube and type in Morgan J. I'll be the first thing that pops up.
Okay.
And
Damn. The only
and
Morgan J, huh?
yeah, at least the only Morgan J that's been, doing, been on TV, because I'm also under NBC. NBC has me listed under their page. You know what I mean? So I pop up over there.
Oh, dope.
And then
So
so YouTube,
NBC had on the NBC, does it have is it showing the
the
Bring the Funny
clips,
or
yeah, they show the clips and bring the funny.
okay, nice. I'm gonna
And
check that
then
out.
and then so yeah, so bring the funny. So anyway, yeah, just go to YouTube and type my name in the search thing. I'll come up. And then my
Nice.
website is morganj.com. And then the
Okay.
other main project that I was working on this year was I was going to be going to Scotland for the Fringe Festival, the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. I don't know if you're familiar,
Mm.
but that's the biggest theater festival in the world. So
Whoa. Yeah. So I actually wanted to touch on that, man. I see that
yeah,
on your Instagram you're a big traveler, bro.
I mean, I have
You
to be.
travel. So you
You
get
have
yeah,
to.
you have to be at, but
I mean, I wouldn't
I'm
be surprised if I had coronavirus last month. I
oh
think I did. I think I did.
man, a lot of people think they did, bro.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of people think they did. But hey, you look healthy, you look alive right now to me, so that's
Um,
good.
but
So
that
yeah,
thing
so
that thing in
Scotland.
Scotland, as of now, they're going forward, all engines forward. So I just
Oh,
have to live my
wow,
life as
man.
if we're going to be doing it.
Yeah,
So I'll be going to Scotland for a month in August, performing every night or every day.
I might
Yeah,
have to show up to that one.
we'll see how it goes. That one I'm a little bit concerned about, but we'll make it happen. We'll figure it
So
out.
it's the biggest
Theater festival. So
show
they
theater
have eight.
fest.
So they have about 800 shows a day from
Okay.
10 a.m. to 3 a.m.
Okay.
So there's like 10 theater companies that put on shows,
Oh,
and
okay.
you get a time slot. So they gave me a time slot around 2 p.m.,
Okay.
which didn't seem like a good time slot, but actually is a good time slot because nobody's wasted. I'm not competing with. So anyway, I can tell that's a whole other conversation.
No. Yeah, it's a whole nother conversation, but I hear
But
you.
so 2 o'clock, and then I could that way I'll be doing my own hour-long show, and then
Mm,
after that I can go and do other people's shows. I could like be guests on other people's shows.
like so
You know?
out of the 10, right?
Yeah. So like if I know a comedian who's doing a show
Oh,
here, I'll be
yeah.
like, hey, can I hop on and do a guest spot? Because then what happens
Yo,
is you share these little guest spots and you could
mhm.
promote each
Collabs.
other. Yeah, things like that.
So to speak.
Yeah,
That's pretty
exactly.
dope, bro.
All
So
right.
they
So
give
I'm
you an
on
hour.
just so you know, I'm on 7% now.
We good. Hey, we're wrapping it up, man. I just
All right,
wanted to
great,
know
great, great.
kind of what's next, where the people can find
Yeah.
you. Hey,
That's
we're
it.
gonna get to it again, bro. You
I'm
know
happy to talk again. This was a good
what? Yeah.
conversation.
Oh, bro, I love it, man. So once you start getting, some content out there, we'll talk about, some of
Mhm.
the things that you're doing creatively. Obviously, when this all, pray to God that it calms down and gets us to a spot where we can get out and about.
Yeah.
Definitely would like to meet you. We
In
can do a
person,
little
yeah.
face-to-face joint. Yeah,
Hell
bro.
yeah, man.
You're in LA, right?
In Mar Vista, the West Side.
West Side. Okay. Yeah,
So
that's LA.
basically Sentinella and Venice Boulevard. I don't know if you know where
I'm
that
right.
is.
I'm right next door in Arizona, Scottsdale.
Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I thought you were in LA. Damn, cool,
I'm from
man.
LA. Now I'm from LA. That's where I'm.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where I'm from, but I live here.
All
So
right. Cool,
I'm
man.
a hop, skip, and a jump away from you.
All right, dope. And I'll be out there doing a show at some point for sure.
I'll be there. I'll be front line.
All
I
right,
need
man.
that VIP access, back
You'll
door.
get it. You'll get it. I got you.
Hey,
I got
I
you.
love it, bro. Hey, Morgan J, man, thanks for tuning in, man. This is another episode, Hollywood Hagan. We had the
Thank you, man.
hilarious Morgan J here with us today. Appreciate you, brother. Until next time,
Until next time, man.
take care of yourself, man.
Thank you, bro. You too.
Adios.